Today we need to talk about a truly special video game franchise. One that has been bringing video game heroes from every imaginable corner together since 1999. Of course, I'm talking about the legendary Super Smash Bros. In the beginning, the roster was modest. It was just a handful of iconic heroes and matchups were simple, like Yoshi vs Mario. But fast forward to today and we've reached a point where you can literally have Steve from Minecraft square off against Super Mario. It's wild. When Super Smash Bros. Ultimate dropped on the Nintendo Switch, it arrived with an unexpected level of hype. The reveal trailers were nothing short of cinematic masterpieces. Every single time a new character was teased, the entire internet stood still, wondering who would join the fray next. For a long time though, I didn't really get Smash. I knew it existed, but I just couldn't comprehend what the massive hype was all about. That was until I stumbled upon the YouTuber Little C. His incredibly entertaining videos finally convinced me to pick up the game myself. And lo and behold, it's now my most played video game on the Nintendo Switch, clocking in at over 190 hours of playtime. To be completely honest, I don't even fully know where all those hours came from. I was never really big on the online multiplayer scene. Instead, I spent a massive chunk of that time playing the story mode, Ball of Light. In fact, I've played through it about 3 times now, including a run on the absolute hardest difficulty setting especially for this video. And that brings us directly to our first major topic, Smash histories with story mode. It's fair to say that Smash had a pretty bumpy history when it comes to the single player campaigns. Either a game didn't have it at all, or it was structured in a bizarre way. In my opinion, the only game that truly perfected the story mode formula was Super Smash Bros. Brawl with the Subspace Emissary. I actually managed to catch up on that experience and play it for myself this past winter. What makes Subspace stand out so much is that it isn't just a series of standard fights. You are actually traversing different environments, exploring unique side-scrolling levels and fighting brand new monsters and powerful bosses. On top of that, you get these incredibly animated cutscenes where you see characters from completely different universes interacting with one another. And that brings me to one of my most critical points. When you own a franchise that brings this many legendary video game characters together, they should actually interact, not just punch each other in the face. Don't get me wrong, Ultimate has cutscenes and visually they look stunning. But there is a distinct lack of actual character interaction. Unfortunately, the story mode in Ultimate boils down to just normal matches against what the game calls spirits, which represent hundreds of other characters from gaming history. To give credit where credit is due, Nintendo did an amazing job customizing these fights. The rules, conditions and AI behaviors are brilliantly tailored to mimic the vibe of whatever spirit you are fighting. It's incredibly clever, but at the end of the day, they still just feel like standard matches. Now the overworld map, on the other hand, is absolutely packed with beautiful little details. You constantly stumble across themed sections that are massive love letters to the specific franchise. For example, there's a segment based on the Lost Fantasy realm where you have to find all the pieces of the Triforce by unlocking the 3 specific Zelda characters. In another section, the game transforms into a classic Castlevania side-scroll. However, I do have to throw a bit of criticism here as well. The overworld is just so incredibly massive. It takes an absolute eternity to fight your way through it, and to make matters worse, the initial map isn't even the end of it. There are 2 more maps that follow. Because of this, the campaign can start to feel like an endless grind. But enough with the negativity, because Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is so much more than just its story mode. At its core, Smash is a game that brings people together. Anyone can pick up a controller, select their favorite childhood hero and start playing. The fact that Ultimate allows up to 8 players to play simultaneously on a single console is a massive game changer for local multiplayer. Whether you're sitting down with your brother, hosting a game night with friends, or playing with coworkers doing a break at the office. It's always a chaotic, joyful experience. Plus, it gives you a permanent excuse to invite someone over to Smash. A joke that quite frankly never gets old. To ensure that casual players always have a blast, Ultimate offers a ridiculous amount of customization. You can turn stage hazard on or off, curate a specific pool of maps to play on, and precisely configure which items appear. There is quite literally a setting for every type of player. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has rightfully earned its legendary status. It's a game that everyone should experience at least once. Depending on how hard the bug bites you, it might even trigger that classic 3-week Smash phase where you suddenly feel possessed to beat classic mode with every single character in the roster. The overall presentation, combined with the epic orchestra and music that blasts through your speakers at the moment you boot up the game, never fails to get you hyped. On top of that, the Smash community is incredibly passionate, constantly showcasing amazing new ideas and creative ways to experience the game. When you look at the big picture, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has truly earned its spot. It officially takes 6th place at my top 15 games of all time.